In 1919, he hit 29 home runs and was sold to the New York Yankees.
A three-run home run for Buffington. The Yankees now lead it by a score of 3-2.
Bill Lee is now going over to a couple of the Yankees, and there they go again.
One hits it to deep left. That might send the Yankees to the World Series.
Varitek and A-Rod going at it. Roberts is going. Posada's throw. Roberts safe.
What can I say? Just tip my hat and call the Yankees my daddies.
Welcome to Fanbase, a deep dive into the greatest rivalry in sports, episode 219, playoff edition. John Senecal, Brian Shackman here. Now, just clarify, the two best records in each league get a bye of the whole first round.
Yes. Yep. The whole first round, the two best in each league. Yep. So the Blue Jays and the Mariners and the Brewers and the Phillies.
Right. So they're not playing at all. And then you have some great matchups. You know, obviously, what we're going to do in the podcast today is we'll talk briefly about these first-round matchups and then maybe make ALCS and NLCS predictions, and you can even predict your World Series. And as we move forward, we'll talk a lot more about game specifics. It all starts on Tuesday, obviously. We're recording as of Tuesday morning. You have the Red Sox playing all three games at Yankee Stadium. You have the Tigers playing all three games in Cleveland. You have the Padres playing all three games in Chicago. And the Cincinnati Reds playing all three games in LA against the Dodgers. Obviously, we start with the Red Sox and the Yankees. I only have one hot take point to make, but I want you to give your thoughts on the series.
Yeah, my thoughts are, you know, if it didn't come down to that one game, the Yankees went from basically a 1 seed to a 4 seed. That's crazy. They missed the best record in American League by 1 game and home field advantage throughout the whole playoff. So Toronto is sitting pretty as far as home field advantage because that's a huge difference. The way I'm looking at it right now is a 4 and 5 seed. I mean, it's great for the network ratings. It's great for Major League Baseball. It's great for our show, Brian, because this is what we want, right? We want the Yankees and Red Sox playing each other. That being said, I do think the Yankees are the better team coming into this. They're more healthy. They're playing better baseball, and I think their pitching is healthier. So if the Yankees can beat Crochet in Game 1, sending Max Fried out there, the two potential Cy Young winners in the American League, I think the Yankees take the series. So this Game 1 is huge. And obviously, you know, the Red Sox have, I would say Crochet probably has the edge as far as the Cy Young right now.
I mean, so my number one point is very simple. If the Red Sox don't win the Crochet start, they don't win the series. Period.
That's fair.
But the only other thing I would say is, as a subplot, is this is a type of series where they really miss a Roman Anthony, believe it or not, even though we don't know if he would throw up on himself in the playoffs because he's never been there. And so I really am focused a ton on like a Jarren Duran. If he can get on base and create problems, and people forget, like Jacoby Ellsbury, when he was with the Red Sox in his prime, he got on base and everybody changed what they did. And in some ways, I think that could be the case with Duran if he can get on base. I'm not saying they should lead him off, but I think he kind of is key because I think that the Stories and the Bregmans are going to do their jobs. So I'm focused a little bit on Duran.
It's interesting you're focused on Duran because he's a lefty, right? And these are going to be two righty-dominated lineups tonight. So the Red Sox will probably have Romy Gonzalez out there. They'll probably have Rob Refsnyder out there.
Yeah.
I would be willing to bet Duran will be in the lineup, as will Trent Grisham, as will Cody Bellinger be in the lineup against the lefty. But you got to remember, the Yankees aren't most likely going to have Jazz Chisholm in the lineup. They're probably not going to have Ryan McMahon in the lineup. Not that matters. He strikes out all the time, but you lose his glove, Brian. The Yankees are going to go with a right-handed hitting lineup, just as the Red Sox are. That's why you'll see Stanton as DH and Judge in right field. And I believe you'll see Judge in right field pretty much throughout the playoffs because you need those two bats in the lineup. And even a Judge, I think the hardest throw he had on court was close to 88 miles an hour. So he's relatively healthy enough, but, you know, you're going to have to hide him.
Yeah, it's a good point about the righty-lefty. I wasn't even thinking about it. Okay, so let's make a prediction in the series. You're basically indicating you think the Yankees are going to win. The question is, do they win 2 straight?
I think the only chance the Red Sox really have to win a game would be tonight. Yeah. And that's because they got obviously their ace. So if the Yankees win tonight, I think it's a 2 and done. If the Sox win tonight, it will be obviously 3. I think for the Yankees to win, home field advantage is huge. It really is. It's pretty interesting that MLB that's what you get rewarded with, right? You get the 3 games at home by doing that.
It's definitely a reward. I mean, you want to incentivize stuff. I mean, there's very little doubt about it. I mean, the Red Sox played well in Yankee Stadium this year, but again, the playoffs are
It
different.
will be interesting to see if it does go to Game 3, what the Red Sox do, because Giolito is technically hurt, right? He won't be on the roster. So do they go with it? Is it Early? Is that the kid's name, the lefty?
Yeah. Well, the debate in Boston is, do you do a bullpen game or go with Early? And in some ways, you can sort of do both at the same time.
Exactly.
Maybe you don't pitch him maybe you put him out there for 3 or 4 innings so they don't get 3 times through on him or even 2 times through on him. So a lot of people think he's poised enough to be able to do a decent job, but you never know until you trot him out there. So
yeah, and you got to get there too, right? It has to be at that point of the series.
So that's, I mean, I do think the Yankees will probably prevail, although I'd be fine with it if they did not. But let's move on to the other series and sort of whip through it. Tigers at the Guardians, and again, all 3 games are in Cleveland. I think you and I are in agreement. Tigers on paper are probably better, but I think that the momentum is not on their side, and I kind of think that the Guardians have a little mojo.
Yeah, it's amazing that the Cleveland Guardians won the AL Central with a -6 run differential, isn't it? It's unbelievable. So they won some late close games, right? And their pitching was unbelievable. The pitching has been just insane, and you're going to see, I believe Gavin Williams against Skubal. Skubal cooled off a lot towards the end of the season, as did the Tigers, who barfed up a 15.5 game lead from July 6th, I believe.
Crazy
is what they had. So biggest collapse, I believe, in Major League Baseball history to lose a division. They did make the playoffs, but that being said, they are limping very hard. And they're pitching after Tariq Skubal, who is, I don't think, 100% healthy either, is pretty garbage. So I got the Guardians winning this one.
Okay, so you got Guardians over the Tigers. I don't disagree there. Arguably, I don't know, the most even series of them all might be Padres-Cubs. Again, Chicago hosts all 3 games. Padres have a lot of star power. What do you think?
I like the Padres. We talked about it on your morning show earlier, Brian. I think they got the pitching. I think they got the stars, and I think they got the bullpen. Chicago, I just don't see the pitching being there. And Kyle Tucker's been hurt, and it's shown. And Pete Crow Armstrong has cooled off significantly. So I'm going to go with the Padres on this one.
Padres. Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to, they got to win 2 or 3 on the road. It's the first road pick you have. Then we go to LA, where, listen, we're pretty obvious on this podcast. We're not fans of the Dodgers for different reasons. They're the big bully. They're the new evil empire, in my opinion, right? They can outspend everybody. They don't care, and they just want to win. But yet they arguably, I don't know. People think they're just going to be there every year. So I personally, and we'll get to picks for everything, I would love if the Reds made a run. And the odds of them doing it are slim. I mean, they won 10 fewer games than the Dodgers. They're just not as good a team. But I'm going to pick the Reds just because I don't want the Dodgers to win.
Yeah, the Reds would be an awesome pick as far as, like the romantic side of baseball. I just don't see it happening. I don't think they had a 25 home run hitter on their team. I don't think anyone batted over 270 on their team. I just, they have a lot of Francona magic. They have a lot of young guys playing baseball, Ellie De La Cruz, that kind of stuff. I just don't see it happen. The Dodgers, listen, you're not even going to see Shohei probably pitch in this series. You're not going to see Roki Sasaki, who just came off the IL. You're not going to see Tyler Glasnow, who's available. So, I mean, come on. The Dodgers, they just got 3-4 pitchers just sitting there waiting for you. They're stacked. They're ready to go. As much as I hate the Dodgers, I really think they're gonna roll their way through this one.
Yeah, so you got the Dodgers. Let's go. So then you have obviously Philly and Milwaukee waiting. And then on the other side, you have Toronto and Seattle waiting. Why don't you just give me your picks for – we'll probably go through this again at a later date, but give me your NLCS. We'll save World Series predictions for later in the playoffs maybe. Give me your ALCS and NLCS.
Yeah, so I think it's the Phillies' turn to knock the Dodgers out. I really do. Even losing Zach Wheeler, I know sucks, but the Phillies are. I've been there so many times. They've tasted it. They want it, and they are a very good team. Their pitching is still there. Their bullpen is nasty. They will be without Alvarado because he's suspended because of the PED thing. But I do believe that they can take down the Dodgers. Something about the Brewers, dude. I don't know, man. I had no faith in them going into the season.
Nobody wants to pick them. Nobody believes them.
I do think they're going to throw up on themselves again because they historically do that. So I'm going to go with San Diego over them. So that sets up San Diego, Philly, showdown in the NLCS. And then in the AL, I'm going to go Yankees over Blue Jays because I just don't see the Blue Jays being able to do it. I just don't. They're too stumbled coming in. They played a crappy team. The Rays couldn't get out of their own way against them. So those numbers really don't impress me. I got the Yankees over the Blue Jays, and Seattle's tough, dude. I see Seattle beating the next round. The pitching's too good, and the team's hot. Cal Raleigh magic, man. I don't think he'll win the MVP, but the magic around him and Julio Rodriguez and the deals they made at the trading deadline are going to propel them.
I disagree. I think that he does win the MVP. I don't think that. I think in the end, I'm not going to say it's not going to be close, but I just think that all the hysteria over his, the most home runs ever by a catcher, I
mean, we could do a whole show debating on it. I mean, he really just has the home runs and he has the RBIs. Everything else he's not even close to judging.
He's a catcher. I mean, it's not an offensive award. It's an award.
I mean, it's the most valuable player award.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really going to come down to a bunch of nerds debating it, right?
Yeah,
not us.
I think that you're underplaying the value of a good catcher. I just think that he has more of an impact on every game. If you basically give Judge a slight edge offensively, and then you factor in the defense, it's not even kind of close. But
I'm going to put it this way: if we're playing in a postseason game and Aaron Judge comes up,
that's a different question.
Well, there you go. He's the best player in baseball. I mean, dude, the guy hit 330. There was nobody in the National League that hit over 300 to qualify. The next closest guy was like 20-something points behind him, and he missed half of the damn season. So you just don't do what Aaron Judge has done this season is only been talked about in the top 5 of everybody in the history of baseball. All those names. Yeah, Cal Raleigh is great and all, but listen, dude, the overall numbers are not there. Catcher or not.
Well,
it's just not there.
I don't want to make a bet with you because you still haven't paid up your last bet. So
I haven't been there to pay up our last bet.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, the Rockies won 43 games this year. How about that?
That was way.
How about that?
I was breathing easy in mid-August. All right, listen, we'll catch up.
I think the MVP thing is a totally other show. But listen, before we go here, I went back and looked at our preseason predictions, and I'm going to roll through and see how close we were. Right?
Yeah.
So in the AL, I had the Red Sox winning the East. You had Baltimore winning the East, right? The Central, it gets better, Brian, for you. The Central, I had the Royals winning the Central, and you had Minnesota winning the Central. All right.
They in the first 2 months of the season they were pretty good.
Yeah, but then they sold off, right? I had the Rangers winning the West. You had the Rangers winning the West. Our 3 wild card teams in the AL. I had the Yankees, Tigers, and Astros. You had the Yankees, Red Sox, and Seattle. So you had 3, but you needed it to be the wild card. You picked 3 right ones. I had the Red Sox win in the East. I remember you laughed at me like, right, this guys are moving to Boston. You picked them up there, but anyways. So let's go to the NL, right? And the NL, I had the Phillies win in the East. You had the Mets. You were all in on the Mets, dude.
I love the Mets. I love P. Alonso. I'm not gonna lie.
We won't probably be there next year, anyways. I had the Cubs winning the Central. You had the Brewers. So your Brewers pick, Brian. We both had the Dodgers winning the West, and then the wild card's where it gets interesting. For the wild card, I had the Braves, the Reds, and the D-backs, and then you had the Braves, the Phillies, and the Padres.
So if you tallied all the playoff teams, I think I picked more playoff teams than you.
So you had the 1 Yankees, 2 Red Sox, 3 Seattle, 4 Brewers, 5 Dodgers, 6 Phillies, 7 San Diego. I had 1 Red Sox, 2 Yankees, 3 Tigers, 4 Phillies, 5 Cubs, 6 Dodgers, 7 Reds. Tied it up.
Oh, 7-7. Because you had Houston, and my bad pick was Atlanta. But I thought you had Atlanta making the playoffs too, no?
No, but I also have the Tigers over the Dodgers in the World Series, and guess who you have picked in the World Series?
I don't know.
I have the Dodgers over the Tigers in the World Series. You have the Dodgers over the Orioles. So
the Orioles
just are disappointing on so many levels, Brian. So many levels.
I just don't understand. First of all, we knew their offseason was stupid, right? We just were like, why not go for it? And they went the other direction, and then. Rutschman, I don't know, he was hurt, and then they sucked, and then they sold off. But anyway,
and of course they blame it on the manager, not the GM. Real quick, Brian, out here, the media outlets are reporting, WHDH in Boston was reporting that online ticket sales are being restricted to most of New England, and they're only selling to accounts in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania for Yankee games tonight. Interesting, Brian.
Does that mean they don't want the tourists?
I guess they don't want the tourists. They don't want the hometown fans coming. They don't want the New Hampshire mites and the Vermont mites and the Maine mites. They don't want them, Brian. You're not going down 95 to watch the Red Sox lose to the Yankees. Sorry.
Whatever. That makes me, because I'm pretty, I'll just say this. I always want to win, but like I can't be unhappy with the Red Sox season regardless. Like the fact that they made the playoffs, obviously people will say you're an idiot because there's only one goal, but I think that anyone can win the whole thing. And I'm just sort of glad that the Red Sox were relevant into September. So in some ways it's all gravy for me, but I think it's kind of lame that you don't let the market take care of itself ticket wise. But
I want to see. I'm looking up right now. Let's see what the wild card ticket buy-in for one ticket is.
It's like $100. It's like you can get 400 level for like
$108 upper deck. Yep.
But I argued on my morning show, if you look at stuff down on the third base line, you can get down there pretty good row for like 230.
Yep.
And that's a better value. Like, I mean, honestly, and
for the extra $100. Yeah.
I mean, for an exponentially better experience. So like if you have decent money, not wealthy, but if you really want to go to one game, and I don't recommend anyone paying that kind of money for a wild card round game, but if you do want to go, and I have this argument with my wife over everything from movies to Broadway shows. It's like, why bother buying a ticket if you're 4 million miles away and you might as well be listening to it in your car? You know what I mean? So like, if you're going to go, do it right. If you're not going to do it right, take the $100, go to your favorite bar and drink and eat to your heart's content. If you're going to go, do whatever you can to get the experience right. And that means being as close as you can be without forsaking your kid's college education.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're a single ticket, right? Single ticket, you can get in real close, like $200.
That's easy,
family of four is not going down low at the Yankee Stadium.
I just look for like two. I just look for a pair. That's usually how I do my searching. Anyway, he's John Senecal. I'm Brian Shackman. We'll talk to you after these series are done. You've been listening to Fanbase, a deep dive into the greatest rivalry in sports.